Are passport bros changing the relationship game? Grab your stick, grab your drink, and let's get into this thing right now. Yeah. It's your boy JD, live and direct to you. You know what it is. Come on and join in. What up? It's your boy JB coming at you live and direct, and y'all know what it is. It's the Smoke Something, Drink Something podcast. I'm the Real Cigar Jeff. You can find me on Instagram at the Real Cigar Jeff. You can find me on Facebook at Smoke Something, Drink Something podcast, and of course you're on YouTube, man. So go ahead and do me a favor, mash that like button, hit that subscribe button, and turn on that bell for notifications, man. And y'all don't want to miss this topic tonight. Our passport bros changing the relationship game. And whenever I do a topic on relationships, y'all know who I gotta bring with me. I'm gonna let him introduce himself. Y'all know he the people's champ. He keeps confessing that, man, but I'm gonna let him introduce himself once again and tell y'all where y'all can find him on the socials.
What's going on, everybody? What's up, JB? What's up, Rhonda? It's your boy TL Clayton. You know, you can find me on Instagram at TL Clayton #1. I'm on Patreon, The Joke I Didn't Tell. Tonight, I am smoking on, this is an Alec Bradley. It's the double broadleaf.
Okay.
And I finally was, I was finally able to get a little Buffalo Trace. So sipping on that tonight.
Nice.
Taking it easy.
You boy spend one weekend with your boy, come back with some class.
No, I went out of town. As soon as you go out of state North Carolina, you can find Buffalo Trace. I don't know why,
but you know, once he was hanging with his boy, all of a sudden, magically, the finer things just are at your fingertips. The finer things are at your fingertips. Y'all know I got to give him y'all know how we do. All right, yeah, there you go. I'm gonna let it last a little longer tonight. There you go. Yeah, it just phased out. Okay, so hey, y'all got to know this now. We coming off our little outing, man. Appreciate it, man. Had a good time with the boys, man. Y'all see TLC then came back. He looking rejuvenated. Y'all see the nice little gentleman sweater. He looking sharp over there. I would have known he was gonna wear that sweater. I would have stepped my game up a little bit. Bless you. So TLC back in the building, man. We back from our annual outing where we absolutely accomplished nothing, and just sit there and continue to go back and forth with each other. Y'all should have seen us down there in Atlanta. We disagreed on the guys trip, just like we disagree on the podcast. But I appreciate TLC still coming back. We didn't agree on one thing for all of our listeners who out there wondering, do we change up when we see each other in person? The answer is hell no, right? Ain't nothing changed, man. I appreciate TLC being in the building. Y'all know who I got next, man. A1 from day one. I'm gonna let her introduce herself, tell y'all what she's sipping on, man, and where y'all can find her on the socials.
Thanks, JB, for having me on the podcast once again. What's up, TLC? Too bad I couldn't hang with the bros this weekend. Bros. It's your girl Rhonda. You can find me on IG at RMBLMBT. Tonight I am sipping on this regular margarita
Nice.
with the on the rocks with the Hornitos tequila.
Okay.
So I'm trying this for the first time, so we'll see what happens. Yeah.
Okay. And then where they can find you, Run?
At on IG at RMBLMBT.
Okay, cool, man. Look, you gonna like that little on the rocks, man. Hey, that's a nice little brand. I've had that Hornitos margarita one now. It's gonna get you tight.
Good.
It's gonna get you tight. So be careful over there, because we talking about a subject that might help you go off a little bit. So there you go. Yeah, y'all know I appreciate. Yes, Lord. The fans love her. Yeah. So y'all got to know now. Last week was busy. Good to see R&B LMBT in person last week. Saw TLC in person last week. Now we got to get back to business, man. And y'all know I'm gonna be real quick with mine. I'm smoking on this Cohiba Black. Y'all see it. Smoking on this Cohiba Black, and of course, I'm getting ready for ski season, so I'm sipping on my High West. My High West bourbon out of Park City, Utah, man. Got to get ready to get into ski season mode. Y'all know how I get down, so this thing already going down smooth. Of course, y'all know I'm flying the colors. Got
Yeah.
got my water glass.
Mm-hmm.
The water glass matches the shirt. Y'all see it? Okay, now let's get into this thing. Now, y'all, full disclosure now. Full disclosure, the panel got the topic. It's gonna be interesting tonight. They not as well versed on this one as y'all might think. So let's see what they talking about. TLC, when you got the topic, brother, what was the first thing that came to your mind?
It said it does passport bros is it changing the relationship game? So when I first heard this topic, I had no idea what passport bros even was. So I had to contact you to figure out what it was. And I guess it's for people who travel outside of the United States to look for love. Basically is what it boiled down to.
Mm-hmm.
And in the article you sent me, it said that I guess this has been increased since COVID. I guess people want to get out of the house or whatever. So I started thinking about this, and I was like, people going out of the country looking for love is nothing new, really. I mean, love has no bounds. Isn't that the saying?
There y'all go.
Isn't that the saying?
There y'all go.
I started thinking about, of course, there's war on TV. They're showing the whole thing. But I was thinking back to like World War II. Americans went to like France. They went to Italy. A lot of soldiers fell in love with people who they didn't even speak the same language with. Even though it was different circumstances, obviously, than the passport bros who just, there's no war going on. They're just going out of the country to look for a significant other. It's nothing new to me. The concept is still there. People are going to travel. They're going to find love, and it is what it is. It's nothing new. So to answer your question, no, I don't think it's changing the game.
You don't think it's changing the game? Okay, that's a roundabout way to get to it. Y'all know. Again, I dealt with this all weekend, so he he was long winded then too. Rhonda, look, man, tell me what you thought when you got the topic.
Well, you know me, I'll be quick with my little answers. I didn't know what this was until I looked at it, but I just thought it was typical male behavior. They can't handle stuff here in the States, so they got to run somewhere else. So it ain't changing the game. It's just taking it to another location. Back to you, baby.
She already starting to rock back and forth. Now, Rhonda, stop rocking back and forth so we can hear you. She already rocking back and forth with that hornitos. But yeah, that's an interesting take, Ron. That's an interesting take. So for everybody out here who clicked on this and don't necessarily know what it is, y'all know I'm gonna go to the Urban Dictionary. I'm gonna go to the Urban Dictionary just to show y'all how they define it. Passport bros are men who have chosen to seek out foreign women, typically from other countries, for relationships. They believe that Western women have been influenced by cultural and societal pressures to behave in a certain way, and that by seeking out foreign women, they can find a more authentic, fulfilling, and harmonious relationship. This is seen as a way to restore the natural balance between masculine and feminine energy, and to avoid the wickedness of Western women. Example, Mike has been traveling to different countries for the past year and has earned himself the nickname Passport Bros among his friends due to his tendency to only date foreign women. Now, TLC, once you see that, does it change anything? We got Real Cigar K in the chat again. She said passport bros are broke with low self-esteem and they know better than man looking for mail order bride. She on fire already today too. So TLC, when you see this on Urban Dictionary, and the reason I went to Urban Dictionary, guys, is because we're not going to try to fake in front up here. I wanted Urban Dictionary. I got some other articles I'm going to share with you guys because I wanted Urban Dictionary to set the tone first. So TLC, after you seeing this now, what do you think?
Well, I still agree with my first assessment. I don't think it's changed over time.
Okay.
I don't see anything wrong with a person having a preference, Maybe there's certain guys that just want foreign women. There's people who don't have passports, but they still want to talk to a foreign woman that, is currently located in the United States. But that's their preference. So for a person to travel out of the state looking for companionship, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I mean, like I say, who's to say? Just because how you find a person is not really defined by your vicinity to the person. You know what I'm saying? Like, you could just make a connection with the person over the internet, even though it's a little shady nowadays. You don't really know who you're talking to, but You can meet a person on the internet or social media. You can make a connection with a person, and then you may meet the person. But the fact that they're looking for someone from a different culture, I don't think is anything
Hold on,
different.
TLC. How do you become this diplomatic when you on the podcast, but when we face to face, whole different ball game? Oh, I can understand people have a preference. Where did that come from?
When have I not said people shouldn't have a preference? I always say people should have a preference.
Well, okay, so now, Rhonda, you see the definition, and you heard what TLC had to say. What are you thinking? Same thing?
No, absolutely not. Like, okay, carry your little tail out of the country, find you somebody that's gonna do what you want them to do. But my issue comes in with the latter part of the definition, because they feel like they've been emasculated, or the wickedness of Western women. That's where I have the issue. So as much as TLC would say, like, hey, ain't nothing wrong. No, the problem is you want to go somewhere where their requirements are much, much lower, or the standards are much, much lower culturally, because the man typically is the one that is running the show. But no, this is escapism in its finest, basically.
Okay.
See, Rhonda, all that back and forth talk and disagreeing with me is why men are going now.
Right?
That's your problem.
Ain't she showing why the man's gonna be a passport, bro? Look at it. You already listened. Escapism at its best. We ain't even changed.
Tell them they got low self-esteem.
Yeah, you got low self-esteem.
Maybe he just wants to learn about different culture. You know
TLC, I like this. You said, man, it's okay if people got a preference. Ron said escapism at its best. What? Okay. I guess we know where she's staying at. I'm going to go there a little bit different, guys. Question is, are passport bros changing the relationship game? And my answer is absolutely yes. Okay? Absolutely yes. We're going to do a future topic called our interracial relationships, the future of relationships. We're going to do that. And the reason why I'm telling you guys this, the reason why I'm tying this in on passport bros is because why are people doing this? Okay. Y'all got to understand at the core of what a passport bro is. Why is he seeking out foreign women? He's seeking out foreign women because now he said to avoid the wickedness of Western women on this Urban Dictionary thing. I'm gonna take that one down, Rhonda, so that you don't
Yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot for you. You don't like that wickedness part. But why are they changing the game, guys? Why are they changing the game? Whether you like it or not, as a female, if you're in the dating pool right now, as a female, this is another notch, another battle you got to fight. Because what guys are saying is, we're going over there to look for somebody who appreciate a man, and their culture makes them appreciate a man. So it is changing the game, because here's what happens, guys. The only reason passport bros work is because social media is so prevalent, right? And a lot of these guys are this took off because social media, in part, you get these women from overseas in foreign countries saying, hey, why don't you let women treat you like that over there? Why do you guys call it the ball and chain? Why do you guys call her the old lady? Why do you call her all this stuff? Over here, this is where we treat the men. This is how we treat the men. Now, I'm telling y'all, it's changed the game. But the problem is when they bring them back. Because once you bring them back to this ecosystem, they start hanging around people like Rhonda who say escapism at its best. Right? Escapism at its best. So they're going to eventually become westernized when you bring them back. But it is changing the game. So I want to make sure everybody kind of understand my perspective. I respect what Rhonda and TLC said. But what you guys got to see about this is that this thing is making news left and right. It's been making news for a while. I've had it on my list to do, and I just made sure I did it after this past week, because I had a chance to step back and kind of redo where I wanted to go with my topics and that kind of thing. Because we're going to talk about passport bros, and then we're going to talk about interracial relationships in the future podcast, next podcast, because everybody is looking at getting away from traditional relationships. Everybody's looking at getting away from traditional relationships. So if you're in that dating pool right now, there's a lot more that you're dealing with. Online dating apps, right? Foreign women, working from home. All those things that if you are in a committed relationship now, 20, 30 years ago, you didn't have to deal with. TLC, you agree with me on that, though, correct? Social media, all these things, you still don't agree with me on that either? Let's go. You ain't got to.
No,
He back to
no,
being normal, guys. He back to being normal.
no. I was looking at it like, okay, it said that it's increased since COVID. Well, you know, a lot of times COVID put a lot of pressure on people. Some people were just stuck in the house. I think people got accustomed to kind of being in their own space, if you will, especially in the dating world. You may not want a person up under against you all the time. So maybe that's the reason why they want to date somebody from another country, because of the space. You know, it's getting kind of cold outside. We're getting close to the holiday season. It's a little chilly out. People always say, oh, when it gets cold out, you know, you need to wrap up because that cold weather is going to get you sick. But according to medical people, they say it's not the cold weather that gets you sick. No, it's when you come back indoors, you're around other people for the warmth. You get close to other people. So being close to other people may be what makes you sick, not the fresh air. Now, when you apply that to this, sometimes you just need some fresh air in your life. You don't need people right up against you. So for the passport bro, you know, it's nice that he can be in a relationship. He may be able to FaceTime and talk to somebody, but you know what? That person's not right up against him all the time. He can go and travel and see her, and they can spend some time together, and then he can come back and work
But
and be about his business.
TLC, he brings her back, though. Remember, they're going over to look for a wife. They bring him back, TLC.
Maybe eventually, but you know.
No, TLC, they bringing them back because when you go over to these countries, TLC, when you go over to these countries, these women are closing the deal on American men. I'm glad you brought up World War II. That's a different aspect I wasn't expecting. But that's exactly what happened over in World War II. How many men came back, did not come back home? They just said, okay, I'm going to take care of the person I was with before, but I'm bringing this other woman back because one of the things everybody has to understand, and I'm going to get into this later, they're not going over looking for a wife. They're going over to look for a vessel of submission, right? Because a lot of these passport bros, when you kind of study their profiles, they're church guys. They're guys who, can you hear me?
I lost you for a little bit.
Okay. Yeah. So these guys are church guys. They're religious guys. They spend a lot of time, looking into spiritual things, and they're going to look for submission. Okay. Mm-hmm. Real Cigar K, I got you in the chat. I see you. I can't repeat what you said because of YouTube, but y'all can see it in the chat. What she's saying is basically she on TLC side. She agrees with me once again, but I'm used to that. So the key is I want to go to this next one real fast, TLC. Mm-hmm. Who are passport bros driving the latest trend in anti-feminist? Okay, in the anti-feminist movement, and I want you guys to understand how this is being portrayed, because I picked out a couple articles that women, right? And so I want y'all to see this Passport Brothers starter pack. Favorite destinations. I don't even know those flags, but it says him versus the woman he thinks he deserves. Right? And notice, and I want y'all to see this. Attention all black women now. Why do they got TLC? Why they got the Africa continent? They got a line through it.
That's the first thing I saw.
That's sad.
TLC, why they got the Africa continent with a line through it? I'm about died laughing, TLC. Mm-hmm. I said I can't share this with them until we get on the podcast. But what happens is, guys, I want y'all to pay attention to him versus the woman he thinks he deserves. Right? Now, here's the thing. This is where people are missing it. This is where people are missing it. The passport bro, okay, why is he going out of the country? This is not, the women over in these other countries don't care how you look. That's why she's missing the component with this right there. Okay? And here's what happened. Look at this Google Translate. Western women aren't traditional and feminine. And I would end up saying Western women aren't traditional and feminine anymore. But at one point, Western women were the apple of every man's eye. And so I wanted y'all to see that starter pack, and then we gonna get into this thing, right? And notice I did that because the infamous yet all the more relevant Urban Dictionary. See, that's why I ended up pulling it up for y'all, right? I want to go down to this part real fast, and I apologize, guys. I should have had this pulled up, but they're referencing 90 Day fiance. I want to go right here. What
Okay.
The
exactly?
90-Day Fiance?
Yeah, they were referencing that. I'm just gonna go to this
That
part right
always ends terrible. I mean,
here. Absolutely, but so is
Yes.
this passport stuff. But here's what happens, right? Passport bro community is a manosphere, meaning that these groups have men who believe they are being too controlled in a post-feminism world. They wish to go back to a society that they believe is uncorrupted by feminism, in a world where they separate themselves from women altogether and live as male supremacists. Many of the self-proclaimed passport bros from Western countries, like the U.S. and the U.K., feel that the women of their country have become heavily influenced by feminism, which doesn't make them suitable to be domesticated wives. This is causing them to seek out women from other countries, more specifically third world nations. Okay? And so I wanted y'all to see that. Now, TLC, after you hear that, right? After you hear that, what are you thinking?
I guess we're going to have a podcast coming up. You mentioned about interracial couples.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess when we talk about interracial couples, we have to touch on racism, Oh, why is that black guy talking to that white woman? Why is that Asian chick talking to that
Yes.
Italian guy?
Yes.
You know what? To me, this seems like the opposite, though. Now you're hating on somebody because they actually like someone from a different culture.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, which one is it?
The TLC.
You're gonna hate a person because they don't embrace another country. Another culture.
Yes.
But now you're in a situation where you have a person who is open to embracing another culture, and you're hating them too.
TLC, I agree with you. That's why we're gonna do the interracial relationship next, because what's happening, guys, that was the one thing. Now we're at passport bros, right? Now we're at passport bros. The reason why we having this podcast is because this is typically something tied to men to quote unquote men of color or African American men. That's why we're having this discussion, because this is something that African American men are now pursuing. And all these people, well, here's what women got to understand. Why would a man choose not to tolerate you, but go all the way, jump on a plane to go over to another country to quote unquote find love or to find a wife? Rhonda, jump in there. Let me know what you're thinking after you saw the partial part of this article. Can you hear me, Rhonda?
No, I couldn't hear you. I couldn't hear you at all.
Okay, so what do you think when you see in the first part of this article?
That it was that is ran by a black man.
No. Hold on, Rhonda. Hold on.
Because that's what I.
No. I want you to see this. Sorry,
that's what I see on the screen.
No. So the article is written. The article is written by Sharia Thapa. Sharia Thapa. So I'm assuming I can't see the picture, but I think it's an Indian woman, possibly.
Well, no, in that paragraph it was saying.
Yes.
Yeah, because I couldn't hear anything that you had said.
Okay. Yeah. So when I don't know if you were following along reading it. What did you think?
Yeah, when I saw that it was
written.
Not written, it was started by a black an American black man.
Yes. So I want you guys to see this. That we got to understand. So look, a YouTube channel, Corn Season Productions, previously called Mr. Passport Bro, is run by an American black man who unabashedly shows the women he connects with in countries like Thailand. His most viral video that has amassed more than 30,000 views is literally titled, "She is Wifey Material." Comments on the video joke on the man's absurd way of describing his girlfriend and future bride as a wife unboxing. Now I want to put that right there. I'm gonna put that right there. Guys, look at this smile. Look at this smile, right? Look at this smile. So here's what we know, guys. People can smile. People now, is he doing this for his YouTube channel or is he doing it because it's real? TLC, when you see that picture, no, Ronnie, go ahead.
No, probably a little bit of both, but he got to get the clicks. And who wouldn't, depending on where you are in life, a lot of people would probably click on "she is wifey material" if they're trying to be somebody's wifey.
Okay, so, I like that point.
I think the big thing though is the comparison. I could see if he's just going over there because that's the type of woman that he likes, right? But when you start comparing them against American women, like, we don't know what type of dude this is. We don't know how he treats women. So if if you're trying to do something like whatever, then yeah, if you want somebody submissive, somebody who's not gonna have a conversation with you, just do what you say. Maybe that's what men want, but it ain't over here in America.
Repeat that, Rodney. You want somebody to do what?
do whatever you
Whatever you
no.
say. Don't have a conversation with you.
Yeah, if you don't want them, yeah, if you want to be one sided, like do this, smile for the camera, smile for the people, bam. Okay, here go $200.
TLC, what's wrong with that? What's wrong with what Rhonda saying?
You know, I don't have a problem with that. Hey, teach their own. But I was wondering out of this because earlier it mentioned 90 Day Fiance, and I don't follow the show a lot, but for everything I've seen, it has not ended well for most people. So
No.
I was wondering, out of the majority of these passport bros, how many of them have actually success? I understand they meet women overseas and they come back, but is it long lasting? I don't really know.
It's not about being long lasting, because this starts out as dating multiples, and I want to make sure everybody.
Well, my point is, if you just want to date a foreign woman, you could just go overseas to a foreign country and
but
enjoy yourself and come
They
back
can
alone.
go to New York. They can go to they can go anywhere in
No.
the States.
Exactly.
No, they Western.
Foreign
But
women.
once they come back over here, they're Westernized. See, that's the whole point. That's why it doesn't last. Kind of like similar to 90 Day Fiance, but it's still changing the game. Okay, it's still changing the game because now you have more women fighting for a reduced amount of men. Okay, because what's happening when you bring these women from foreign countries back over here? They become Westernized. Now you leave them. Now you just increase the pool of the people looking for a guy. You agree with that at least, right, TLC? Once y'all divorced, she's now Westernized. She knows that she doesn't have to act like she did in her former country.
Yeah, but now she's part of the dating pool in America. There's gonna be another guy that you just saved a passport and an airplane ticket for. I mean, for one man's trash, one man's trash is another man's treasure.
Oh
Ain't
my
that what they
Lord.
say?
Oh my God!
So
Oh my God.
I mean, now there's a woman here. I didn't have to get a passport. I didn't have to travel to see her.
But are guys really that simple where all they want is somebody with a vagina, no lip? Well, I ain't gonna say no lips because they do want the lips, but with no opinion. Is that really what most men in America or guys in America look for?
What I'm gonna say this, and then I'm gonna let TLC jump in. What the guy, y'all got to understand the core of this. The man is not looking for sex. The man is looking for submission. The man is looking for somebody who is going to honor him. And I'm just saying, guys, I'm telling y'all what they think. That's why we doing the podcast. I'm not telling you that's what is right. I'm just telling you, when you look at these guys and you study these guys, they're going to look for the type of wife that existed in America back in the 30s and 40s, Ron. And back then, guess how it was?
They won't dress in like that.
Well, I agree with you on that. That we knew of. That we knew if you dress like that, you dress like that behind closed doors.
Yeah.
Right? So that's why I wanted y'all to see. The phenomenon is not new. Going back to what TLC said, the mail order bride for creepy dudes isn't a new thing. Look at what the girl is calling it. The mail order bride for creepy dudes. Most mail order brides were going to rich dudes, because in order to get a mail order bride, you were getting them from Russia, you were getting them from Ukraine. You were paying a lot of money to get one of these women.
Yes.
They came over here as nannies and all that. But look at what she said. The mail order bride for creepy dudes is the new thing, right? The creepiest, stinkiest, grossest, scariest dude at my old job, which probably meant he was a CEO, got a mail order bride from the Philippines. I felt so horrible for her.
Yes.
Right? Because guess what? The creepiest, stinkiest, grossest, scariest dude is the richest dude at the company, because he can afford a mail order bride. Mail order brides are not cheap, TLC. Go ahead, jump in there.
Oh, well, to answer Rhonda's questions, I like to argue with my women, so I like
Don't
I
we
like
know?
them a little feisty, you know.
Yeah.
So
Go ahead.
the
Y'all go
phone
ahead and go
woman-
to the travel. Go ahead and go to the travel with Bay podcast, guys, and y'all will see where
Right.
my TLC is single.
Exactly. So
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't really want a woman that's just totally complacent. That wouldn't work for me. I get bored with that.
Uh-huh.
But
Mhm.
I forgot what your other question was that you were talking about.
Well, no, that's cool. You can answer Rhonda. That's cool. You can answer Rhonda's question. What I was saying is that people are going over there looking for an old time frame. You're going back looking for people who still think like America in the 30s and 40s, right? That's what they're going to look for, because back then women didn't have an opinion. Women spoke when they were spoken to or given permission to speak, and now that's not the case because clearly we're in a different time. Okay. It's one of those situations where TLC, I'm trying to get to this other. Okay. Now, I wanted to go there real fast because I want to jump around here to these other two articles I got. Passport cis. What about the women? While there have been no passport cis trends, it's being suggested that women too should venture beyond the borders to find their true love. Again, this seems like the premise of a dating reality show, Love Trip, Paris, that revolves around 4 women flying to the French capital in search of love. Right? Now look at this, guys. It's happening on both sides. It's happening on both sides. Now, I'm going there, Rhonda, because I want to get your opinion on this.
Mm-hmm.
This is American women are now in competition with the American man. Look, we can't stand he doing passport bros. He a passport bro. Now, guess what? we got to do the same thing he doing.
Yeah, because women always do it better.
TLC, Rhonda making a point for the passport bro, ain't she?
No, but I'm saying, look, men are going to be men. And as much as you say that stuff isn't about the sex, it's more about submission, that's hard for me to believe based on something TLC shared with us, like a couple of weeks ago, that YouTube thing that you sent us, Torrance, with the divorce attorney. Like, that stuff doesn't leave you guys ever. Like, so as good as that may sound, and good of an excuse that may seem for some people, it still does not negate the fact that it's still a way of sidestepping you being a responsible male in a relationship.
But let me ask you this, Ronnie. You don't think again, American men who own the dating scene now? We're talking about men who own the dating scene, guys. These are passport bros. We're talking about dating. If you already married, you just listening to this for entertainment purposes only. Don't lose half your stuff to try to be a passport bro. Right? Your days over with, right? You got the one you got the one you with. Go back and love her. Take her overseas.
That's what you
go rekindle. Go rekindle, right? We talking about people who are on the dating scene. Now, Rhonda, you don't think
I just don't understand.
You just don't cut me off. Okay. God, maybe you can't hear my mic.
Oh, no, you froze up. You froze up. I didn't know if you were there now.
Okay. Go ahead.
I don't know why people are concerned with boundaries, man-made boundaries now. And I think that's the thing since COVID, because I hate to bring up cryptocurrency, but the one thing about the currency was that it was going to be universal. You kind of use it anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
So as people start, you shop on, you're buying stuff from other countries, you're shopping. I don't understand why you couldn't just broaden your horizons to other countries when it comes to love. Like, why are you only stuck in one lane when it comes to love? You know what I'm saying? It doesn't make sense to me. It seems like the world is your oyster now. You have the internet. You can talk to people from wherever. It just makes sense to me that you would branch out a little bit, and you might meet someone from another country that you actually like. So
all I know is if you are a male and you are doing things like that, and you got to have multiple foreign women that you're dating, there must be a level of corniness to you, to where whatever you're doing doesn't work over here. So you may be corny. And it may not be appealing.
Well, did it say multiple? I don't think it said multiple, did it?
It's being corny affecting relationships.
As the young folks say, weird. You may be weird.
You may be weird. Maybe touched.
And it may not work over here. So you go somewhere where, hey, they may see you as this American with so much money, and you really don't have that much money, but at least you're American, and I just need to get over here, which could make that stuff so different.
Absolutely. And that's why I'm glad you brought that up, because what's happening is, because I want to get over here, I'm going to give you the impression that I'm submissive, right?
God, here for all of that.
See, one of the things the reason why I'm telling y'all to look at this submission word, and get away from the sex word is simply because these women are trying to get over here. And when you have a motive, you will act any way that you need to act. Can you hear me, Ron?
Yeah, I can hear you. Mm-hmm.
All right. So that's why I'm telling you, they're not going over. Does the physical happen? I'm pretty sure it does. But you're going over, and then you don't realize the ecosystem controls everything. If you put me in the hood, I can be the Bible thumping Christian. Put me in the hood, and I'm gonna be the Bible thumping drug dealer. Right? Because you don't change. Once they come back to this ecosystem and they start hearing Rhonda on the podcast, they're gonna be like, man, Rhonda right. When you had them over in Thailand and they didn't look at this trending podcast, on the way up on YouTube. Now all of a sudden they click on this. Most of them don't realize that they're talking to a passport bro. See, and here's what happens with the passport bro. The reason why I'm telling you it affects relationships, guys. The passport bro.
I do think you're thinking that woman is naive or overseas.
Yeah, but
like, what makes you think she doesn't know that she's talking to a passport bro?
I didn't say she was naive. I said I think the women are very in tune with they're dealing with an American man. Okay, that's why they will submit to an American man, because they know submission does not exist in America. Okay, they know submission does not exist in America, which is why they sell it. They sell submission over there. It might be expressed through a romantic date. It might be expressed through sexual intercourse. It can be expressed in a number of different ways, guys. What I'm trying to say to y'all is the reason why the guy's going over there is because he's looking for women who are not going to question the man.
Right.
And for the correct price, she will do it. Now the problem is when she comes back over to this ecosystem, she's not going to meet other women who think like her. Most women, look at what the lady said in the previous article, TLC, the grossest, stinkiest, creepy.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, he probably the CEO. Got him the Philippine bride. Now the Philippine bride comes over here. The reason why the passport pros are failing is because it's impacting relationships, but they're failing because you don't have a social circle with women who are going to be like her when she get over here. So she started hanging out with women like Rhonda. And Rhonda like, girl, you crazy.
As hell.
And so that's what I mean by it, guys, which is don't be confused with why they're going over there and why it's changing the game. There's a lot of men out here who really want that submission feel more than anything. They want that submission feel more than anything, and they're going to other countries because over there, and here's what a lot of guys don't understand, a lot of those countries, it's two reasons why it's happening: overpopulation or religion. Well, you come over here to America, you got freedom of religion, and at this point, we're not overpopulated. And that's why when you come back, she can't be the same because the environment changed. TLC just talked about it. I got taught not to go out. I got taught to wrap up in cold weather so I don't catch a cold. And y'all know the first time I went skiing, my little dumb butt goes out there and says, man, these people out here partying, they gonna catch a cold. I ain't know that's what you did in the cold. I got taught to come in the house when it was cold, TLC. But now when I'm out there partying like them. So TLC, you heard my thoughts. What did you think so far?
Well, you were talking about they were talking to the ugliest person they could find. Some ugly. This joke that's on Instagram popped into my mind. So this isn't my joke anyway. The joke goes, there's 3 women that went to heaven, and God told them there's only one rule in heaven: don't step on any ducks. And all of a sudden, the 3 women looked around. There was ducks everywhere.
Oh.
The first woman stepped on a duck. God appeared. He chained her to like the ugliest man on earth for like all of eternity. She was stuck with him. The other 2 women saw this and was like, okay, I can't step on any ducks. Unfortunately, the next day, the second woman, she accidentally stepped on a duck. God appeared. He chained her to like this ugly dude, terrible looking, for all of eternity. Third woman saw this and was like, oh my God, I gotta be careful. The third woman went for months, was so careful not to step on any ducks in heaven. All of a sudden, one day, God appeared, but he had this beautiful man with him. The man was handsome and gorgeous, and God chained the man to him. And the woman was like, oh my God, I can't believe I have this beautiful man in my life. What did I do to deserve this? And the guy said, I don't know, but I stepped on a duck.
Yes.
So, the point of this joke is, all this time you might have thought you were the treasure. You might be the punishment.
Yes.
And that's what I see when I see on the 90 Day Fiancé. These guys are going out there thinking they're going to get over this woman. They're thinking they're the treasure. But when they get back, they're the punishment.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And it probably was the same thing when they were in America. That's why the American women didn't want to talk to them.
That part
just
right
the other
there.
women realized it. So.
But what we got to understand, though, guys, is this. These men don't believe they need to adjust, and those women don't believe they need to adjust. And in order for a relationship to work, it's going to be some adjustments. So they go over to these other countries, and you get the feeling of adjustment. You get the feeling of adjustment from the woman's side, but you don't feel like you had to change. All you had to do was find the money to get to that country. Notice these passport bros don't show where they stand a lot of times. They just show you enjoying spending time with this girl, that one we just sent you, where the guy was smiling with the lady from Thailand and that kind of thing. So TLC is right. This woman thinks she's getting an American mogul. She don't realize she might be getting the American punishment. Because when he get back over here, y'all got to remember, if I'm over there balling out in his pesos, and then we come back over here and you tell him, nah, man, we back in America now, so we got to go to Publix. Right? Like, nah, we ain't going to the beach, or we ain't traveling all these places, because these women are assuming that you're a baller. And that's why when they get back, the relationship doesn't work. Jump in that TLC. I see your hand.
I'm just thinking back to the couple of episodes of 90 Day Fiance I've seen. And another aspect is that you have a guy that's going over to another country, talking to a woman. It's just him and the girl at the time of the relationship.
Mm-hmm.
He comes back over to America, and now you got the whole guy's family and friends involved. And you have a whole group of people who now have their input on that relationship. So now it's just not the guy and the girl, and that completely complicates things. So,
and that's why, guys, I'm saying that the original question of the podcast is, yes, they are changing the game, because, again, that's one more guy not looking for a traditional woman or woman over here in America. Anytime you bring more people into the pool, it just makes the dating pool harder. And so now you got fewer men who can do crazy stuff because there's so many women coming after them. Right? And that's what's happening. So the reason why I put that last article about the passport sis is because this is what's kind of happening in America. Remember, guys, we did the podcast on this 50-50 working relationships, and I said that it creates a competition, right? And now you understand, guys, what's happening over here is that you got some men who were saying, I'm not going to compete for you. I'm not going to jump through hoops for you. I'm the prize. Like TLC said, now you might see yourself as a prize, but you might be the punishment. Okay? Now, if I don't see myself as the punishment, I think you should jump through hoops for me. Okay? And that's why I went to this next article. Are passport bros really a problem? Because I'm trying to get through this. And so our passport bros, unsurprisingly, they've received their fair share of hate. There's no denying their influence is growing. Hashtag passport bros has over 470 million views on TikTok. Now, y'all got to understand, I want y'all to see, this is coming from the Salt Lake Tribune now. Now, we know what go on out there in Utah. And, you know, it's unofficially, you can have multiples out there. One of my favorite beers out there is the Polygamy Porter. Right? Right? I see, Rhonda, you go hate. But look, I say it's a beer. What I'm saying is when you go out there, right? So here's what happens. Once again, Urban Dictionary is dictating how people see this, guys. And the reason I bought up the Urban Dictionary meaning so you can see it. But let's look at number 2. Men in the West who understand that the West, particularly in the U.S., is a sinking ship, both financially and culturally, and therefore choose to live in countries where their money goes further and they're treated with more respect, particularly by women. Passport bros understand that their lives would be better in places like Southeast Asia and Eastern Europe because strong family values are seen as the norm in places like that. Hookup culture is not as rampant in the world, and thus the population, especially the women, are far less damaged. They create better and stronger family units. Now I got to see y'all face on this one. We got to start recognizing why this is changing the game. And I may not get to my last article because I wanted to stick a pin in that, Ron, and get your thoughts on it. Look at what is being said. When did women in America get this label, even if it's not true? When did women get this label that they're harder to deal with, even though it may not be true? Jump in there, Ron, and let me know what you think.
But one of the reasons why I think women in America or females in America would be labeled as such is because if you want equality and equity and things like that, then that means you're challenging the man. Because who's supposed to be head of the household if that's what you choose to do, that traditional way or what have you. But no, I think it's easy. I think it's easy for guys to label women as being so headstrong and wicked as that other word was said in that Urban Dictionary thing. And don't get me wrong, are there some women out there that's like that? Absolutely yes. But I don't think majority of the women are like that. It's just that when you get over here and you can have the freedoms that you do have, then you can be labeled as probably being too much. For some guys, I can't call them men because I think men could handle a woman that has an opinion and can lead in certain areas and but still know how to interact with her man if that's the case. But again, whatever, I think most guys, not men, most guys will easily take the easiest route out if they could. And so yeah, go overseas where somebody don't even speak English and you just show them a couple of things and then bam, you got somebody that's gonna last about
And
3
guess what? And guess what though? How simple was dating back in the day? Right? How simple was dating back in the day? Y'all know I got to go to my favorite movie, Coming to America. She said, "All my life I was raised to serve you."
Lord have mercy.
Now we call that movie a comedy. We call that movie a comedy, and that movie came out in the 80s. Now, what people don't realize, and the reason I pull this part up, one of the best things about being a passport bro, TLC, is the lower cost of living abroad. Some of these, and Real Cigar Case said it in the chat, some of these guys are faking, so they come back to America. It don't work if you're going to bring them back to America. If you're a passport bro, you got to stay over there. Look at what it said. In some countries, earning $40,000 is enough to support a family. That means my partner can choose if she wants to work or not, or if she'd rather focus on running the house and taking care of the children. In the U.S., many dual-income families can't have the same freedom and flexibility simply because it's much more expensive to live there. Now, TLC, while the passport bros are changing the game, the relationship game, you're bringing these women back. If you're going to be a passport bro, you got to stay over there. Because once you bring these women back, they're not going to stay with you because the ecosystem and the environment has changed. Now they're going to want what these women over here want. And now, like I told you guys, they just keep increasing the pool of women who are single. And now you got a lot of women competing over men where it used to be back in the day, the woman sat back. The woman sat back and waited to be found. Well, now the woman being just as aggressive. Go ahead, Rhonda, jump in. I see you moving. Go ahead.
But they can't come back if they can't afford to live over here. According to what this article is saying, it wouldn't be adding to the pool. But say what you want about America, I still would choose this country over any other country any day. And then if they go to certain parts of whatever it's Eastern Europe or Asia or wherever they are planning on going, those governments are ran totally different. We're not cut out to be under any type of like dictatorship. We're not made like that. So yeah, they could go over there for whatever, for the submission, but is it really worth all of that? And I guess for some of those guys it is, but at the end of the day, they can't make a life over there.
Well, Rhonda, look, and then TLC, I want you to jump in there. I just scrolled down a little bit because I'm really trying to get through this one. And Rhonda, that was a good point that you made. TLC, I want you to see this. However, the idea was brought into the mainstream by an African-American documented filmmaker. In 2011, he released a film called Frustrated, which explored a growing trend of black men leaving the United States to pursue women in foreign countries, particularly Brazil. After the documentary release, several YouTube channels sprung up, mostly in the black community. And this is probably why this podcast is going to be a part 2 on this down the road. Because again, the reason I brought this up is because this is primarily an African-American thing. Why African-American men run into different countries to find a woman when there's plenty of black women available? Now, what we got to discuss is why the change of men, black men running overseas, running away from black women. TLC, jump in there, man. Look at it. This is something that started with a black man back in 2011. Go ahead, TLC. Jump in there. Let me know what you think when you hear that.
So I don't personally know of any black dudes in my circle that are planning to move overseas or anything like that.
But it ain't but 3 of them. So no, ain't none of us going.
Yeah, I don't really get out of the 3. But after COVID, I was working for this help desk of this IT company, and it was a white dude there, and he wasn't trying to find a wife, and then he was just saying that like he's like a year before he can move. He was looking to move somewhere down South America. I can't remember the country, but he was like, yeah, I could just get a boat. And he was like, I do help desk work. I could work remotely. I'm still going to get my American pay, and it's gonna stretch further. So I mean, he did. Well, at least he didn't tell me he was going down there to find a wife. Maybe he was, and he just didn't share that part. But he was looking at it as more or less,
All right,
you know,
TLC,
he
you
could just
froze
live
a
more
little bit. Hold on.
comfortable
Hold on,
in
TLC. You
another
froze a little
country
bit.
and still
Rhonda, you
make
there?
his American money.
Okay.
So I could see why people would go live overseas, especially if they're still pulling an American paycheck. It's more economical, and you could live comfortable. You could be right. This guy had like a place with a boat by the water and all this. I mean, he had it all mapped out in his head. So I mean, if you can live great in another country, why not?
But
Now,
TLC, I gotta interrupt you because I'm gonna get Rhonda to come back in here. This thing is affecting black women the most, and Rhonda, the black woman on the panel. So we're gonna bring up the interracial thing because most of it is black men going after white women or other cultures, which is no problem with that. But there's also black women who are starting to venture out and go to other men of different races as well. This is disproportionately affecting black women. Rhonda, why do you think it's affecting black women? What do you think has changed to where black women, a black man would decide to go overseas instead of trying to understand a black woman more? Jump in there, let me know what you think.
Listen, my answer to all of this is America. This this is America, and yes, black women are disproportionately affected by pretty much everything that goes on in this country on so many levels. But again, if you're going to deal with a black woman who has been put in a position to where they have to be the leader, they have to run the household, whether that means that father or husband is in prison or jail or what have you, or maybe he can't work or won't work for whatever reason, right? So when you put us in leadership roles where you have to work in your masculine energy all the time, it is hard to dial it back and be soft or softer, to allow a man to lead. Plus, you got to be able to trust that that guy will do right by what it is, and yeah, you can make some poor decisions because you want to have somebody. People want to have people, and if that's the case, yes, I could see where if there's a black woman holding you accountable, I could see how a guy will run for the hills for
Let
that
me say this
because
though.
they
Let me
don't
say this though.
they don't
Let me
want
say this
that.
though, Rhonda. Let me say this though.
So they'll go somewhere else. It's easy.
That's one.
Again, I just think guys take the easy route out.
That's one component of it. That's one component of it. And TLC, I want to get your thoughts before we get ready to close out of this thing because time has really flown. Rhonda, I like your word accountability, but what if black women are being taught differently by grandmother and mama?
Well, yeah, because
Right?
daddy's not that.
Well,
So
but now here's the question: why is daddy not there?
well, either he just laying his stuff wherever he could lay his stuff
Papa was a
and
Rolling Stone.
and creating creating babies. Maybe that woman did get on his nerves. Isn't there a verse in the Bible?
Hold on, maybe what? Repeat that for the podcast. I didn't hear it.
The woman did probably get on his nerves. Like, Nick, isn't there a verse in the Bible that says like better for a man to sit on a tin roof than to be
Yep.
like
On the edge of a tin roof, than be in the house with a contentious woman.
right?
Yep.
But nobody wants to be nagged. But I don't think women nag their man unless they're not doing something.
But the question is, in TLC, I want you to jump in there. Why is a man choosing not to do it for you? And a lot of women got to understand this. A man wakes up simple. A man wakes up simple. A man wakes up and a man wants to just get from point A to point B. That's how most men wake up.
That's the easiest route. Yes.
Right? The easiest route. So if a woman knows that, we focus on the goal instead of focusing on the detail to get to that goal. See, if you
But women are detailed. Women are detail oriented.
Agree. But women didn't used to be detailed back in the 30s and the 40s. And what y'all got to remember why this is changing the game is just like I go buy me a pair of Jordan 1s. What am I trying to recapture, TLC? I'm trying to recapture 84 and 85. I'm trying to recapture it. Now I can't play like Jordan, but I can go buy the ones. Right? Can't play like Jordan. I got the fans like Jordan, but I can't play like Jordan. Now TLC, I want you to jump in there because what do you see that has happened with black women on why a guy would want to do this real fast?
this is gonna be kind of out in left field, but I'm gonna throw it out there. So I was out of town this weekend. I was in the mall looking at different things in the mall, and you go by like the Louis Vuitton store.
Louis Vuitton,
You see the black women in there looking at the slippers, but Where's Louis Vuitton out of? Isn't that like an Italian
French.
shoe?
French.
French? Okay,
Yeah.
there you go. French shoe. Okay, you go by the hair salon, and what are women are getting? They're getting their hair braided with Asian hair. So why would I go and date a black woman and get the milk if I could just go directly and get the
If you
cow?
got
You know,
time, there you go.
I gotta put it out there. You know, maybe the African American culture is not being appreciated or not being emphasized enough. So maybe these guys are like, well, you know, if I want a woman with Asian hair, I'll just get me an Asian woman.
So you saying that the black woman, you're saying that the black woman,
Possibly, I'm saying
no,
possibly.
possibly, right? You're saying that the black woman is kind of embracing all of these trends, these fashion trends, and that the man is saying, I'd rather just go get that original instead of dealing with the copycat. Is that?
I'm saying it's the black woman's fault because now. But I'm saying if black women are embracing other cultures, then what's wrong with the black man going out and embracing other cultures?
Be honest with you, TLC. The amount of men who want a natural black woman are getting smaller and smaller. So the black woman is trying their best. The black woman is on social media too. She sees what these men are looking at. She sees, look, and y'all got to understand, the black woman is the most copied woman in the world. Why you think they go to these other countries to get these BBLs? Right? We had that. Black women had that stuff naturally. You know why? Black women ain't got to put nothing in their lips. It was a natural thing. And I think one of the things we got to look at is, TLC, you might have made a good point, which is when we start dibbling and dabbling in some of the other cultures, they dabble in ours, but when we go dabble in theirs, we become, the black woman becomes less appealing. But when the other cultures dabble in the black community, in the black women culture, they become more appealing than the black woman. How does that work? Because now you see cultural appropriation is killing the black woman. And I don't know if she knows how to respond yet, other than getting angry. And that's where the angry black woman mantra came from, because they're being copycatted. And when they try to go back to their roots, the man doesn't want that now, because social media is not applauding anything authentic. Get on social media and be authentic if you want to, right? So when we take a picture with us hanging out on a guy's trip, to, friends that just stayed down for each other. Ain't no likes. Ain't no likes. Oh, y'all still getting together. Y'all lame. Y'all ain't moved on yet. But no, bro, we just getting together. So TLC, I think you made a good point, and that's why, guys, we got to do the interracial thing, because I think we're starting to get to the gist of this thing. This thing is affecting black women, and I'm just gonna finish this article with this part. It's not a coincidence that the movement blew up in 2019, right around the time COVID hit. TLC talked about it. People were bored in their homes with more time to consume content, and Passport Bros videos served as a form of escapism. Rhonda's word. This is why, Rhonda, you didn't know you were prophetic. After the pandemic came to a close, many folks weren't obligated to return to the office and therefore set off abroad because they were so miserable, guys, in their house. I'm so glad that during COVID, that was not me, because what a lot of people don't understand is you got taught wrong that a relationship meant you were supposed to be around each other all the time. No, a relationship means you have to purposely spend time apart. You have to purposely spend time apart. And that's why I'm glad you brought it up. Y'all didn't realize it when I asked y'all that. I didn't know y'all didn't see these articles. And for the record, everybody who listens to this podcast, I don't ever share the article. The article I sent them about Passport Bros, we're not even going to talk about that. Because what happens is we trying to have an authentic discussion with you guys. And I think TLC brought up a good point. But one of the things Rhonda talked about with escapism is true. Why am I trying to escape the woman who everybody's trying to emulate physically? That's why I'm telling y'all it's not about sex. It's about submission. It's about mindset. Because there's women when we see these fake women on social media, we can tell it's fake. We have access.
Sometimes.
Well, that's true. That's true, TLC. So that's what I wanted to bring up. I wanted to get to this point, guys. COVID blew it up. Yeah. Because once again, people started saying, hold on, have black men figured out something? Well, we gonna jump on it. Now, who was being left out? Black women right now having it hard to find a man who wants to be with them. And I don't know if the people who influence them or teach them are telling them that it's about submission. And submission is not a nasty word. And I want to say this as we get ready to come to a close. Submission is not a nasty word. The strongest person in the relationship is the one who has to submit. And that's what a lot of people don't understand. Because when you talking about submission, we both recognize that both of us are strong, but you have the vision that I can get behind. Now, if the person don't have a vision, don't get behind them.
That's right.
Submission means I'm just as strong as you. I'm volunteering to follow you. I'm not forced to follow you. I'm volunteering to follow you because I'm just as strong. But what I'm going to do, you got a vision that I can get behind. And I've connected with people who've gotten bigger visions than me. It's called Chase. It's called Bank of America.
Oh my.
I choose to submit to them so they can say, okay, Jeff, here's access to resources. Why can't we do that in relationships? Why can't we do it in relationships, TLC? So the black woman is being affected. So y'all stay tuned because what's going to happen is this: our interracial relationships change the game. We don't have a problem with interracial relationships, but now interracial relationships are being attacked. Homosexual relationships are being attacked. All these relationships are being attacked because everybody's been taught submission, but they trying to fix it with sex. TLC, give me your final thought for tonight's podcast.
Going back to the topic itself, I don't think Passport Bros is changing the relationship game. I think maybe technology has changed the relationship game, but not necessarily the boundaries of what state or nation you live in. I think people have searched for love worldwide. I don't think that's ever changed. Love is an emotion. So
No. Love is not an emotion. If you love me, you're going to keep my commandments. I ain't mean to interrupt your final thought. But
well, whatever you want to call it, love. I don't care. It's an emotion. Feeling good means someone. Whatever. It's an emotion. So I think you're always going to be searching for that, regardless if it's overseas or in America. And I don't think there's anything wrong with finding someone who matches that of a different culture.
Absolutely. So, different culture, different color, different creed. That's a good diplomatic way to say it, TLC. I clean it up for you there at the end. Rhonda, give me your closing thought.
Well, after seeing all the articles that you brought forth and knowing that this was basically started by African American, it does make you wonder, like, hey, just don't be scared. Don't be scared of the black woman. Whatever the black woman, it automatically gets better. We just know how to do it to where we make you believe in yourself. You can do anything. Come on back home, as long as you ain't corny. Come on.
See that? All the corny brothers, y'all stuck. Rhonda said sisters don't want y'all if you're corny. She can't fix that.
No, you do have to have a vision. I always say a woman is not going to follow a parked car, but for so long, she's not going to do it. And so, yeah, no, that's basically mine. But I love that escapism is in that because I did not know that was something to that. But I stand by that. So no, it's not changing the game. It's just a way to do it another way.
Okay. And y'all know my final thought, man. I believe that this all comes down to people who have gone into religious settings. Religion is no longer answering. They're tired of praying. They're tired of fasting. They're tired of tithing. They're tired of doing offerings. These guys who are rooted in religion, thinking that the Bible is a certain way for them, and it's affected the black community the most. It's affected the black community the most. And TLC, man, how you gonna shake the glass during my doggone closing argument, man? That's messed up, man. I thought
Buffalo Trace is smooth, buddy. Buffalo Trace is smooth.
So I think what is happening at the core of this is religion. And guys who are looking, when you hear that word submission, we automatically give it a bad word. But what happens is when you feel like you got to go against the culture, when realistically that same energy you put into becoming a passport bro, put it into growing a business. And if you put it into growing a business, you'll have a line of all cultures running up to you, trying to get to you. And a lot of people are trying to fulfill their flesh instead of fulfilling their purpose. And unfortunately, black men and black women are being affected the most by this because the one thing we've gotten away from, we've become good at everything except a purpose, a vision, a mission, goals, plans, business plans, all that kind of stuff. We do everything else right except the things that create those resources where women will come to you. And I think that's why for all these guys who want to be passport bros, I would tell them to focus on business the same way you focus on trying to find a woman who will submit. Because if you get your business right, she'll come. I ain't never seen a man lose a woman chasing business, but I done seen men lose money in businesses chasing women. And man, y'all know what it is. It's the Smoke Something, Drink Something podcast. Man, y'all do me a favor. Look below the description. Get the merch. Support the channel, man. The merch is right down there. I mean, y'all go in there, man. Support the channel. Share this with a friend. Share this with a family member. Get down in the comment section. Let us know what you think, man. Because when we do this interracial one next time, y'all got to be ready to build on this. It's gonna be even better next time, man. And y'all know I gotta thank my panel for coming on once again. TLC, let them know where they can find you on the socials, brother.
I'm on Instagram at TL Clay #1. I'm on Patreon, The Joke I Didn't Tell.
Man, appreciate you being on, Rhonda. Let them know where they can find you.
On Instagram at RMB LMBT.
Man, and of course, y'all know where y'all can find me, man. Go ahead and hit that like button, mash that subscribe button, turn on that bell for notification. Get down in the comment section. All that stuff helps the channel, man. We on our way to 100,000, guys. We got a little bit over a month. I don't know if we gonna make it. We about 96,000 short. Y'all gotta use your faith. Use your faith. We gonna believe in faith, man. And until next time, we go holler. Yeah. It's your boy JB. Live and direct to you. You know what it is. Like and subscribe to.